These are all the medications that I have to take on a daily basis. So, these are emergency glucose tablets in case my blood sugar starts going low and I need something quick to help pick it up. They're like giant sweet tarts. Alright, so prions. Because I don't have a pancreas, these are enzymes that your pancreas would normally produce to help process food. High blood pressure help. Trazodone, duloxetine, pantoprazole, Linzess, tramadol, more Creon, gabapentin, duloxetine, amlodipine, propranolol, magnesium. So I take these pills every single day, except with Linzess every other day. Since 1992, I had pancreatic episodes that would show up every 3 to 4 years, and then they got more frequent, where I would get them every 2, every 1, and then I started getting them every 6 months. The worst one I had was in New York City in 1997. I woke up with the worst pain I've ever experienced. It hurt so bad I couldn't talk and I couldn't straighten up. I was bent over the whole time. I placed a phone call to my control center in North Texas, and I told them going to the hospital, and I hung up because that's all I could say. I go out to the street corner and I couldn't even hail a cab. I finally just sucked it up for just 1 second and just held my hand up like this, and a cabbie pulls up. So I jumped in and I was laying down just moaning in the back seat, and he got me to Lenox Hill Hospital in New York City. And when I got there, they put me in a waiting area, and I must have waited close to 3 hours before they finally gave me some pain medication. They got me up to intensive care, and after they did a CAT scan, they said, your pancreas, if you move the wrong way, will rupture and it will kill you. And so they flew Mary up, and when she got to the hospital, they told her, he's dying tonight. Have your affairs in order. He's not going to make it. They ended up sending a doctor over that my employer knew of. His name is Dr. Kevin Cahill. Prior to his arrival, I already had seen 2 surgeons that wanted to just cut everything up. And he said they're not going to touch him, but he cannot move and he cannot have surgery. They said the surgery alone could just kill him. And then a friend of ours by the name of Louise Williams, this little black lady from Jamaica with a heart of gold, and you could like see directly into her soul. She had no pupil. It was just 2 eyes of coal, it looked like, and you just feel comfortable when you're around her. And Louise came in and started praying, and because I was on some pretty heavy Demerol, I was in and out, and I could hear her she started praying from the book of Job, and when she did that, there was a warm glow, and to where the room was just barely lit up. And then it started getting just a little bit brighter, but not super bright. And then I felt something pass and push from my back out through my chest. It was like some force that just, and you could feel it leave your body. And when it left my body, the whole room just went, and it glowed, but they couldn't see it. And I looked over, and then Louise just started hammering me with prayer. I mean, everyone on that floor could hear her. She was not trying to be quiet at all. She was as loud as they come. After she stopped praying, she looked at Mary and she said, he's going to be all right. She goes, he had the Holy Spirit pass through him, honey. He is going to be fine. And then I got up. Mind you, I shouldn't be walking, one. Two, one of my lungs was full of fluid. I shouldn't be able to walk more than 2 feet without passing out. I walked to the end of the hall, looked out on Park Avenue, and it was a pretty night. You know, I just wanted to see something normal. And then I went back to bed because my Filipino nurse chased me down and was saying, "You got to get back in bed." Until this day, that nurse will send me a card every holiday, every religious holiday. She just sent me a card with her phone number so that we could call her when we go visit again and we could have lunch again, because she knows what happened in that room. I mean, it was not of this world. That's all I can say. And then I survived something that I wasn't supposed to survive. While we were there, I met with one of the former judo players, and somehow we got on the subject of being in the military, and he asked me where I was stationed at. And I told him. He said, "Where'd you go to basic?" And I said, "Fort McClellan." He goes, "Man, I went to Fort McClellan too." He goes, "Have you heard of the issues that revolve around Fort McClellan?" I said, "No." He goes, "When you get home, pull it up. It's very important you know about this, because a lot of your issues may be coming from you being stationed there during basic training." And I read all the different symptoms and issues that people were experiencing. I said, "I'm going to have to look into this, because more than likely this is what's caused all my medical issues," because I was pretty much a healthy person until all this stuff started hitting. In the town of Anniston, Alabama, you also have the Monsanto Chemical Factory. They're the ones that made the Agent Orange and all the other nasty stuff that they use in warfare, chemical warfare. 60 Minutes had done a special on the amount of radiation that was discovered on Fort McClellan, and the levels that it was emitting were super, super high. And I started thinking of the tumor that I had in 1991. I had some other issues that kind of started before then, but you know, I didn't put two and two together until the tumor hit, and then the pancreatitis, and they could never give me a reason why my pancreatitis was hitting me, and so they disassociated the alcohol, the amount of fats, and there's several other factors that played into it, but they said, "We don't know what's causing your pancreatitis." I kept getting idiopathic diagnoses. We even went to the Mayo Clinic, so on and so forth. April 24th was the scheduled surgery date, and you know, leading up to it, I had to deal with pancreatitis for almost 2 weeks of straight pain. Surgery date came around, and they told me that they were going to remove the pancreas. Dr. Sharif was a surgeon. He said, "I'm going to have to reconstruct how your stomach and the different functions that the pancreas used to do. I have to reroute it to the liver, and you know, just do some house cleaning," as he called it. I had to give up living with pancreatitis for living with diabetes after the surgery. So that automatically made me a diabetic 1 coming out of surgery. This is my scar from 2013. That's my removal of my pancreas, spleen. The gallbladder was a little more easier. It was just a couple of holes and they pulled it out. But that's a full scar. I lost my belly button because of it, as y'all can see. And then this is my blood glucose monitor. Actually, it's called a CGM, continuous glucose monitor, because it's every 5 seconds it sends a signal to my cell phone to let me know what my blood sugar is. This is my insulin pump, which is connected here. And I have to push that in every couple of days. Matter of fact, glad I did that because I'm due. So I'm going to have to insert another one before I leave, because I'm going to go out for a little bit. But that's my insulin pump, continuous glucose monitor. I've lost everything that I had as a normal life due to my being stationed in Fort McClellan. No, I don't fear death. I never have. I don't know why. I just don't. You have to wrap up the picture you have of life and how lucky you are to have what you do have in the family that you have, and hopefully with what you still have to contribute in the future. In the end, it doesn't matter what you have, what you own, how much money you have in the bank account, because none of it will follow you to the grave. What matters is family and the love you have for your family. Life is what you make of it. You could sit in your room and be mopey man for the rest of your life, or you can get up eventually and dust everything off and say it's time to move forward. And that's my legacy.